The Battle of Kyiv is a stark reminder that even the most formidable military powers can falter under flawed strategy and fierce resistance. In what was supposed to be a swift and decisive operation, Russia faced one of its most humiliating defeats since World War II. Ukrainian defenders held their ground and turned the tide, delivering a blow that reshaped the entire trajectory of the conflict. But how did a nation with a smaller military budget and fewer resources outmaneuver one of the world's largest armies? Was Russia's failure a result of poor planning, overconfidence, or the underestimated resolve of the Ukrainian people? And most importantly, does this battle signal a larger decline in Russian military dominance on the global stage? Join us as we dissect the critical factors behind this historic defeat and explore what it means for the future of modern warfare. Intelligence failures played a decisive role in Russia's military setbacks during the Ukraine conflict. The Federal Security Service and other Russian intelligence agencies fundamentally misread the situation, leading to catastrophic strategic miscalculations. Russian intelligence agencies severely underestimated Ukrainian military capabilities and resolve. Despite extensive polling data showing strong Ukrainian resistance potential, the Federal Security Service continued providing optimistic assessments, suggesting that Ukraine's population would welcome Russian forces. This miscalculation proved devastating as intelligence agencies championed a war plan based on the flawed premise that a lightning assault on Kyiv would topple the government within days. One of the most glaring oversights was the failure to account for Ukraine's significant military reforms since 2014, which had enhanced its readiness and resilience. Equally damaging was the underestimation of the effectiveness of advanced Western weaponry supplied to Ukraine, which played a pivotal role in bolstering its defense. Intelligence agencies also misread the Ukrainian population's unwavering determination to defend their sovereignty and failed to recognize the unity and adaptability of Ukraine's command structure. These critical miscalculations, rooted in overconfidence and a lack of accurate analysis, contributed to the catastrophic failure of Russia's initial war strategy and set the stage for prolonged conflict. The perceived might of the Russian military, long touted as one of the most formidable in the world, proved to be largely an illusion. Although official figures suggested a force of over 1 million soldiers, the number of troops that could be deployed and sustained in combat was far smaller. This discrepancy revealed a significant gap between Russia's claimed military capability and the reality on the ground, a misalignment that became glaringly evident during the invasion of Ukraine. Intelligence assessments had failed to accurately evaluate several critical aspects of Russia's military readiness. The reliance on modern equipment, for instance, turned out to be overstated. Much of the arsenal used in the conflict consisted of outdated, Soviet-era weapons that struggled to compete with the advanced technologies deployed by Ukraine and its Western allies. Similarly, while Russia's armed forces were believed to be composed of well-trained and experienced soldiers, a substantial portion of the personnel sent into Ukraine were poorly trained conscripts, ill-prepared for the complexities of modern warfare. Another assumption that unraveled was the belief in Russia's strong and efficient supply lines. In reality, severe logistical challenges plagued its operations, with shortages of fuel, food, and ammunition severely hampering the effectiveness of its forces. Perhaps most striking was the failure to achieve air superiority, a cornerstone of modern military strategy. Despite its robust air fleet, Russia was unable to secure control of Ukrainian airspace, leaving its ground forces vulnerable to precise and relentless attacks by Ukrainian drones, artillery, and advanced missile systems. These shortcomings not only undermined Russia's initial plans for a swift and decisive campaign, but also exposed systemic weaknesses within its military structure. What had been projected as an overwhelming display of power instead revealed a military plagued by outdated practices, poor planning, and a dangerous over-reliance on unverified assumptions. This stark contrast between expectation and reality has since reshaped perceptions of Russia's military prowess on the global stage. Significant gaps in Russian intelligence led to strategic blindness. The Federal Security Service and military intelligence missed critical developments in Ukraine's military modernization. Western analysts identified that Russian intelligence failed to recognize Ukraine's substantial improvements in combined arms operations and tactical flexibility. The intelligence community's failure to challenge Putin's assumptions created an echo chamber of misinformation. This resulted in Russian forces being caught flat-footed by advances in Ukraine's military hardware, particularly the effectiveness of Western-supplied weapons like HIMARS. The Russian military intelligence's inability to anticipate Ukraine's counter-offensive capabilities represented what experts called a colossal failure. These intelligence shortcomings were compounded by Russia's highly centralized command structure, which prevented accurate information from reaching decision-makers. The Federal Security Service's continued adherence to flawed assessments, even in the face of contrary evidence, ultimately contributed to what U.S. officials described as a fundamental and strategic mistake. Russia's strategic planning for the Ukraine invasion revealed fundamental weaknesses that ultimately led to their retreat from Kyiv. The military operation, initially designed for a swift victory, crumbled under the weight of multiple strategic miscalculations. The Russian military's logistics system proved woefully inadequate for sustained combat operations. During the push toward Kyiv, Russian ground forces faced massive supply challenges, with vehicles running out of fuel and troops lacking necessities. The perceived might of the Russian military, long touted as one of the most formidable in the world, proved to be largely an illusion. Although official figures suggested a force of over 1 million soldiers, the number of troops that could be deployed and sustained in combat was far smaller. This discrepancy revealed a significant gap between Russia's claimed military capability and the reality on the ground, a misalignment that became glaringly evident during the invasion of Ukraine. Intelligence assessments had failed to accurately evaluate several critical aspects of Russia's military readiness. The reliance on modern equipment, for instance, turned out to be overstated. Much of the arsenal used in the conflict consisted of outdated, Soviet-era weapons that struggled to compete with the advanced technologies deployed by Ukraine and its Western allies. Similarly, while Russia's armed forces were believed to be composed of well-trained and experienced soldiers, a substantial portion of the personnel sent into Ukraine were poorly trained conscripts, ill-prepared for the complexities of modern warfare. Another assumption that unraveled was the belief in Russia's strong and efficient supply lines. In reality, severe logistical challenges plagued its operations, with shortages of fuel, food, and ammunition severely hampering the effectiveness of its forces. Perhaps most striking was the failure to achieve air superiority, a cornerstone of modern military strategy. Despite its robust air fleet, Russia was unable to secure control of Ukrainian airspace, leaving its ground forces vulnerable to precise and relentless attacks by Ukrainian drones, artillery, and advanced missile systems. These shortcomings not only undermined Russia's initial plans for a swift and decisive campaign, but also exposed systemic weaknesses within its military structure. What had been projected as an overwhelming display of power instead revealed a military plagued by outdated practices, poor planning, and a dangerous over-reliance on unverified assumptions. This stark contrast between expectation and reality has since reshaped perceptions of Russia's military prowess on the global stage. The Russian command structure exhibited significant organizational failures. Multiple command changes occurred as the operation faltered, including the dismissal of Lieutenant General Serhiy Kizel and Lieutenant General Vladislav Yershov for failing to capture key objectives. The appointment of General Alexander Dornikov in April failed to resolve these issues, as Russian forces continued to experience command and control challenges. One of the most glaring issues within the command structure was the intense competition among troops for limited resources. Due to poor organization and lack of centralized coordination, different units found themselves fighting over essential supplies like fuel, ammunition, and food. This not only created friction between units, but also contributed to the overall inefficiency of the Russian military's efforts, as resources were not allocated according to strategic priorities. Instead of working together toward common goals, troops were often left to fend for themselves, weakening the unity and effectiveness of the operation. Additionally, communication breakdowns within the Russian military created further complications. Soldiers were often forced to rely on unsecured civilian phones to communicate, which not only jeopardized the security of their operations, but also led to delays and misunderstandings. The lack of secure communication channels made it difficult to issue orders quickly and efficiently, contributing to confusion and disarray on the battlefield. Adding to the chaos, the Russian military's command structure was highly fragmented, with multiple command centers operating in parallel from 4 different regions. This lack of centralization led to confusion about priorities, objectives, and strategies. The absence of a unified, streamlined command structure meant that decisions were often contradictory or delayed, and coordination between different military branches and units was severely hampered. These organizational and structural deficiencies, which were compounded by constant leadership changes, left Russian forces struggling to maintain effective operations and led to a breakdown in the coherence of their military campaign. The ongoing confusion and lack of clear direction significantly contributed to the failure of Russia's initial invasion plan. Perhaps the most striking failure was Russia's inability to establish air dominance. The Russian Air Force averaged only 140 sorties per day in the initial assault, far below what was needed for effective air superiority. Their air campaign lasted merely 7 hours when it should have continued for 72 hours to be effective. The Russian aerospace forces struggled against Ukrainian air defenses, forcing them to fly at low altitudes and making them vulnerable to man-portable air defense systems. This tactical constraint severely limited their ability to provide close air support to ground forces and led to significant aircraft losses. By the fall of 2022, Russian aircraft were deterred from conducting deep penetration missions, forcing reliance on drones and missiles. These strategic failures stemmed from Russia's fundamental misunderstanding of the conflict's nature. The invasion force was too small for its objectives and failed to block Ukraine's western border, allowing a continued supply of foreign weapons and aid. The Russian military's poor planning assumptions about a quick victory led to inadequate preparation for sustained combat operations. Ukrainian forces have demonstrated remarkable tactical innovation in their defense against Russian aggression, fundamentally changing modern warfare approaches. Their success stems from a combination of innovative defense strategies, effective weapons integration, and adaptive command structures. Ukraine's military transformed traditional static defense into a dynamic challenge for their adversaries through innovative mobile tactics. Their forces implemented a shoot-and-scoop methodology, rapidly repositioning and concealing air defense units to maintain effectiveness despite being outmatched in numbers. This approach proved especially effective by highlighting the contrast between traditional methods and Ukrainian innovation in warfare. While conventional strategies often relied on fixed positions and predictable patterns, Ukraine's military adapted with dynamic movement and flexible tactics. Where traditional forces might have favored centralized command and static defense, Ukrainian forces embraced a more decentralized structure that allowed for distributed operations and swift, mobile responses to changing battlefield conditions. By rejecting the limitations of rigid strategies, Ukraine's forces showcased an ability to adjust in real time, leveraging their adaptability and initiative to outmaneuver their adversaries. This shift from traditional to innovative tactics not only disrupted Russian strategies but also transformed the way modern conflicts are understood and fought. The Ukrainian military's integration of Western weapons systems showcased an unparalleled level of efficiency in modern warfare. By effectively combining a range of advanced capabilities, Ukraine's forces demonstrated a mastery of cutting-edge technology. They seamlessly incorporated unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, alongside precision-guided munitions, allowing for highly accurate and strategic strikes. Additionally, the deployment of advanced ground-based air defense systems significantly enhanced their ability to neutralize incoming threats. Moreover, Ukraine implemented sophisticated electronic warfare tactics to disrupt and counter enemy UAVs, further highlighting their innovative approach to modern combat. The effectiveness of these systems was enhanced by Ukraine's innovative approach to battlefield communications, including the strategic use of Starlink to overcome Russian jamming attempts. Ukrainian forces successfully employed these systems for target identification, battlefield awareness, and information operations. Ukraine's military underwent a fundamental transformation in its command structure, developing a professional NCO corps that proved crucial in battlefield success. The military established 3 service-specific NCO training centers, implementing a new education system aligned with NATO standards. This restructuring allowed for the development of mission command culture enabled leaders to push authority and decision-making down into the ranks. This decentralized approach proved particularly effective during the conflict, allowing individual commanders the freedom to make quick decisions at every level. Ukrainian forces demonstrated exceptional flexibility in adjusting operations due to changing circumstances, particularly at the unit level. The integration of these innovations with combined arms operations marked a significant advancement in warfare capability. Ukrainian forces successfully coordinated infantry, direct and indirect fire, aviation, and other joint capabilities to achieve their objectives. Their ability to adapt and implement new tactical approaches while maintaining operational effectiveness has become a model for modern military operations. Technological disparities between Russian and Ukrainian forces have emerged as a decisive factor in the Battle of Kyiv, highlighting the critical role of modern military systems in contemporary warfare. Russian forces experienced severe communications breakdowns due to their reliance on outdated systems. Their ERI cryptophone system, designed for secure communications, failed catastrophically as it depended on the 3G/4G infrastructure that Russian forces had destroyed in their initial attacks. This strategic error forced Russian units to resort to unencrypted communications, making them vulnerable to interception and targeting. The consequences were severe, including Russian generals being targeted and eliminated due to intercepted communications. Units resorted to using Chinese commercial radios with minimal security, and command posts becoming easily identifiable through electromagnetic signatures. The technological gap is particularly evident in drone warfare capabilities. Ukraine has deployed approximately 6,000 commercial drones for surveillance by May 2022, creating a sophisticated reconnaissance network. The Ukrainian military's integration of drone technology has transformed battlefield awareness, introducing new levels of capability and effectiveness. Their implementation of multi-layered drone operations, which allows for real-time data sharing, has greatly enhanced surveillance capabilities, providing continuous and detailed intelligence on enemy movements. This advanced technology also plays a critical role in target acquisition, with AI-powered software guiding armed drones to precise locations, improving the accuracy and efficiency of strikes. Furthermore, Ukraine's use of the Delta Battle Management System has revolutionized the command structure, offering real-time tracking of forces and enabling swift coordination across various units. This sophisticated approach has redefined how modern battles are conducted, giving Ukrainian forces a significant edge in terms of strategic planning and operational flexibility. The disparity between modern Western and Soviet-era equipment has become increasingly apparent. While Russia maintains large quantities of Soviet-era hardware, Ukrainian forces have effectively integrated modern Western systems with commercial technology. Ukrainian fighters have created networks that communicate critical intelligence and orders faster and more effectively than Russian command and control systems, at a much lower cost. The technological advantage extends to battlefield awareness, where the average Ukrainian conscript demonstrates superior situational awareness compared to their Russian counterparts. This advantage is largely due to Ukraine's integration of several advanced tools and technologies. They utilize commercial satellite services for geospatial intelligence, providing them with real-time insights into enemy movements and terrain. Additionally, Ukraine has developed robust open-source intelligence gathering capabilities, allowing them to tap into publicly available data to enhance their understanding of the battlefield. The use of advanced AI algorithms for data processing further sharpens their ability to analyze and act on critical information quickly. Combined with digital battle management systems, these technologies enable Ukrainian forces to stay ahead of their adversaries, making them more agile and responsive in combat. Ukraine's military has leveraged both public and private technologies to create a data-driven command and control system operating through 4 dimensions: collection, connection, analysis, and action. Despite SpaceX's attempts to restrict Starlink usage for offensive military purposes, Ukrainian ground forces report only minor disruptions to service, maintaining effective battlefield communications. The technological gap has forced Russian forces to adapt their tactics, moving heavy machinery several kilometers back from the front line due to the threat of precision strikes enabled by advanced surveillance systems. This technological disparity has proven particularly crucial in artillery warfare, where Ukrainian forces maintain superior targeting capabilities through integrated drone and satellite intelligence networks. Several decisive moments in the Battle of Kyiv fundamentally altered the course of Russia's invasion plans, marking critical shifts in military advantage and strategic positioning. The battle for Hostomel Airport emerged as a pivotal engagement that derailed Russia's initial strategy. Russian airborne forces attempted to secure this strategic location just 12 miles from Kyiv's center, but Ukrainian National Guard units, supported by artillery, successfully delayed the elite Russian troops. While Russia eventually gained control of the airport, the facility was too damaged to serve as an effective air bridge for a rapid assault on the capital. The defense of Hostomel proved particularly significant because Ukrainian forces shot down approximately 6 Russian helicopters. The delay prevented Russia from achieving its 3 to 4 day timeline for capturing Kyiv, especially when Russian paratroopers faced unexpected resistance from well-prepared Ukrainian defenders. Ukrainian forces systematically targeted Russian logistics networks, creating severe operational challenges for the invading forces. A notable example was the infamous 65-kilometer-long Russian convoy containing up to 15,000 troops, which ground to a halt due to Ukrainian resistance, maintenance issues, and critical supply shortages. The convoy's fuel shortages led to immobilized vehicles, rendering large portions of the force ineffective. Ammunition depletion further hindered combat operations, drastically reducing the Russian troops' fighting capabilities. The lack of food supplies not only diminished the effectiveness of the soldiers, but also significantly lowered their morale, exacerbating the already dire situation. These logistical failures were a key factor in the unraveling of Russia's offensive plans and highlighted the critical role of supply chains in modern warfare. The artillery battle emerged as a defining element of the conflict, with both sides engaging in intense counter-battery warfare. Ukrainian forces demonstrated remarkable efficiency, destroying 4 Russian howitzers for every one they lost. This success stemmed from several factors. Western-supplied counter-battery radars from Germany, Norway, the United Kingdom, and the United States proved crucial in detecting and targeting Russian artillery positions. Ukrainian forces maintained effective artillery operations, even with limited resources, managing to fire approximately 2,000 rounds per day. The arrival of advanced Western artillery systems marked a significant shift in capabilities. The United States alone provided Ukraine with 2,155mm shells, 800,000 105mm shells, and 200,000 152mm artillery shells. This support enabled Ukrainian forces to maintain defensive positions and conduct effective counteroffensive operations. Russian forces initially held an artillery advantage, but Ukrainian counter-battery operations gradually eroded this superiority. By implementing sophisticated target acquisition methods and maintaining tactical flexibility, Ukrainian artillery units successfully defended key positions while systematically degrading Russian combat power. Systemic deficiencies within the Russian military structure have emerged as fundamental obstacles to their combat effectiveness in Ukraine. Recent assessments reveal deep-rooted problems that continue to hamper Russian military operations. The Russian military's training system has shown significant shortcomings, particularly after reducing conscript service periods. Training problems persist due to several critical factors, such as procedural rigidity and inadequate equipment for training exercises, excessively scripted exercises lacking real-world combat conditions, high turnover rates that require units to be rebuilt every few years, and insufficient counter-ambush training despite lessons from previous conflicts. The situation has deteriorated further as 87% of Russia's pre-invasion professional army has been lost. Recruits receive minimal preparation, with some deployed to Ukraine after just days of training. Maintenance issues have severely impacted Russian military capabilities. A comprehensive analysis reveals that 60% of Russian equipment was either captured or abandoned during the conflict. The problem stemmed from several key factors that severely disrupted the Russian military's operations. One of the primary issues was a shortage of qualified maintenance personnel, which made even basic repairs impossible. This shortage led to the failure of brigade repair operations, leaving damaged equipment abandoned and unrecovered. Additionally, the extended supply lines further complicated the situation, causing delays in receiving necessary maintenance support. The lack of diagnostic equipment further reduced the efficiency of maintenance efforts, preventing troops from quickly identifying and fixing issues. The maintenance crisis extends beyond vehicles to basic combat materials. Russian forces struggle with maintaining even fundamental equipment, leading to frequent breakdowns and shortages. Only 1 out of 10 tanks in reserve remains functional due to the theft of vital components. The deterioration of troop morale has reached critical levels, manifesting in widespread disciplinary issues and desertion. Russian independent news sources reported that dozens of wounded troops rerouted in Novosibirsk due to inadequate medical care. Several factors contribute to this collapse. The quality of troops has steadily declined, with forces primarily composed of mercenaries, prisoners, and conscripts fighting for financial incentives rather than national conviction. Medical evacuation faces significant delays due to shortages of armored vehicles, leading to higher mortality rates. The situation is exacerbated by systemic corruption, with soldiers forced to purchase their own equipment, including body armor and military supplies. Some units have remained in trenches for months without tank support or proper evacuation capabilities. The Russian military medical system struggles with approximately 500,000 wounded personnel, straining resources at all levels of care. Former commanders report that frontline units frequently struggle with degraded morale, often panicking under Ukrainian artillery strikes. The combination of poor training, inadequate equipment maintenance, and collapsed morale continues to undermine Russian military effectiveness in the ongoing conflict. The Ukrainian military's remarkable success in defending Kyiv stems from a combination of superior intelligence integration, effective combined arms operations, and unprecedented tactical flexibility. These advantages have fundamentally shaped the outcome of the conflict. Ukraine's military has developed a sophisticated intelligence network that combines Western intelligence support with innovative domestic capabilities. Their forces receive real-time intelligence from Western allies within 30 minutes to an hour of collection, enabling rapid response to Russian movements. The intelligence advantage includes advanced satellite imagery from commercial providers, crowdsourced intelligence through the Dia app receiving tens of thousands of daily reports, integration of multiple data streams through the Delta battle management system, and real-time drone surveillance networks. The Ukrainian military has demonstrated exceptional proficiency in combined arms warfare, synchronizing infantry, artillery, and air defense operations. Their forces have successfully integrated Western training to conduct complex military operations. The effectiveness of their combined arms approach is evident in key metrics. In artillery operations, Ukrainian forces have consistently fired up to 2,000 rounds per day, showcasing their ability to maintain heavy and sustained bombardments. Command integration has been another area of strength, with the establishment of multi-level security domains that enhance coordination and communication across units. Additionally, Ukraine's use of drones has proven highly effective, with the deployment of over 6,000 commercial drones to support reconnaissance and targeting efforts. The integration of Western equipment, particularly various NATO weapon systems, has further strengthened their military capabilities, enabling Ukraine to leverage advanced technology and enhance its overall operational effectiveness. Ukrainian battalions undergo up to 6 weeks of specialized training in layering tanks, artillery, and other weapons to maximize battlefield impact. This comprehensive approach has enabled them to maintain defensive positions while conducting effective counteroffensive operations. The Ukrainian military's tactical flexibility represents a significant departure from traditional Soviet-style warfare. Their forces have implemented a bend-but-don't-break strategy, making calculated decisions to withdraw to better defended positions when necessary. This adaptive approach has proven highly effective in preserving combat power and maintaining operational effectiveness. The transformation of Ukraine's command structure has been particularly noteworthy. Their military has evolved from a Soviet-style, command-heavy force into a modern, adaptable Western-style organization. This evolution includes the implementation of mission command principles has empowered field-grade and company-grade leaders to demonstrate initiative and make rapid battlefield decisions. Ukrainian forces have also developed an elastic defensive strategy, allowing them to buy time until better armed and provisioned. The military's improved flexibility has enabled effective combat against Russian offensive operations, with forces demonstrating steady and stable defense capabilities. This adaptability extends to their integration of Western weapon systems, where Ukrainian forces have shown remarkable proficiency in employing new capabilities while maintaining operational tempo. Ukrainian commanders have divided their sectors with clear chains of command, enabling immediate tactical decisions by officers on the ground, without consulting headquarters. This decentralized approach has proven particularly effective in countering Russian advances, as demonstrated by the successful defense of key positions around Kyiv. The technological dimension of the Russia-Ukraine conflict has emerged as a defining aspect of modern warfare, with both sides engaging in sophisticated cyber operations, electronic warfare, and satellite-based intelligence gathering. This digital battleground has become as crucial as traditional combat operations. In the hours preceding the invasion, Russia launched a significant cyber assault on Ukraine's Viasat satellite networks, disrupting internet access for tens of thousands of Ukrainian citizens. The cyber dimension of the conflict has intensified, with documented cyber attacks against Ukraine reaching 470 cases in the first year alone. Despite the high volume of attacks, their effectiveness has diminished over time. Russian cyber operations have primarily focused on the defacement of government websites, denial of service attacks that disrupt online services, and the deployment of malware aimed at destroying critical data. Additionally, efforts have been made to manipulate public opinion through cyber tactics. Ukraine's cyber resilience has been strengthened through international support, with major tech companies helping to migrate 10 petabytes of government data to cloud storage by December 2022. This proactive measure has significantly reduced the impact of Russian cyber operations on Ukraine's military and governmental functions. The electromagnetic spectrum has become a critical battleground, with both sides engaging in sophisticated electronic warfare operations. Russian forces initially demonstrated significant capabilities in jamming and electronic interference, but Ukrainian forces have developed effective countermeasures. Russian tactics, including signal jamming, disrupted drone operations, while GPS spoofing misled guided weapons by providing false coordinates. Communication interference further degraded command and control capabilities, creating chaos within Ukraine's ranks. Ukrainian forces have adapted rapidly, developing innovative solutions through public-private partnerships. The country now has 200 registered companies producing military drones and 50 companies specializing in electronic warfare systems. This industrial base has enabled Ukraine to maintain technological superiority in several key areas. Commercial satellite technology has revolutionized battlefield intelligence gathering. Over 30,000 Starlink terminals were delivered to Ukraine in the first 15 months of the war, providing secure communications for military, government, and civilian use. The satellite infrastructure has proven remarkably resilient against Russian cyber attacks and jamming attempts. Ukraine has effectively utilized a range of satellite capabilities to enhance its military operations. High-resolution imagery from Maxar synthetic aperture radar has provided crucial insights into enemy movements and positions. Additionally, radio frequency monitoring from Hawkeye 360 has allowed for the detection and analysis of communication signals, while Earth observation data from Satellogic has contributed to real-time intelligence gathering. Furthermore, SAR satellite coverage from Finnish ISI has offered valuable surveillance, even in challenging weather conditions, giving Ukraine a comprehensive view of the battlefield. The integration of commercial satellite technology has reduced the sensor-to-shooter loop to just over 30 seconds, significantly improving Ukraine's targeting capabilities. This technological advantage has enabled precise strikes on key targets and enhanced battlefield awareness through space-based positioning, navigation, and timing technology. The effectiveness of these technological warfare elements has been amplified by Ukraine's innovative approach to data integration. Their military has developed a sophisticated battle management system that combines satellite intelligence, drone reconnaissance, and electronic warfare capabilities into a unified operational picture. This integration has proven particularly effective in countering Russian attempts to establish electromagnetic superiority. Private sector involvement has been crucial in maintaining Ukraine's technological edge. Companies have provided not only hardware and software solutions, but also critical expertise in defending against Russian cyber threats. This public-private collaboration has created a robust defense ecosystem that continues to evolve and adapt to new challenges in the digital battlefield. The technological warfare impact extends beyond immediate military operations, influencing strategic planning and tactical execution at all levels. Ukraine's success in leveraging advanced technologies has forced Russian forces to adapt their tactics, particularly in protecting high-value assets from precision strikes enabled by satellite intelligence and drone reconnaissance. Russia's failed attempt to capture Kyiv stands as a watershed moment in modern military history. Ukrainian forces demonstrated remarkable superiority through advanced technology integration, tactical innovation, and effective combined arms operations. Their success exposed critical weaknesses in Russia's military structure, from flawed intelligence and poor planning to systemic training deficiencies and equipment maintenance failures. These developments signal lasting changes in warfare doctrine, emphasizing the importance of technological superiority, decentralized command structures, and adaptive tactics. Ukraine's success story continues to inspire support worldwide. If you support Ukraine to win this war, please comment number 1 in the comment section below to let us know. Thanks for watching.